Hello, and thanks for the invitation to the Global Digital Week team. My name is Íñigo Amoribieta. I'm the Managing Director for Western Europe at Otovo. Otovo is a startup that is dedicated to rooftop solar in residential. We're a Norwegian company that started in 2016. And over the past few years, we've gone around and built operations all across Europe to serve B2C customers or residential customers with a solar rooftop system for their homes in hopes of saving them money and easing the transition towards a cleaner, cheaper energy. So let me tell you a bit about ourselves, what we do, what we've done, and what the project has entailed. As a mission, we want to put solar panels on every roof and batteries in every home in Europe. Like I said, we're already in 13 countries. 4 years ago, we were barely 30 people and present in a couple of countries. When we decided to open Spain, one of the businesses I run, we had this idea of whether the software would work and make things affordable for customers. And now that we are in 13 countries, we can proudly say that it has worked and that the project scales in a digital way. Right? But we wanted to, like I said, put these panels on every roof in Europe through the easiest and most affordable way. The easiest being digital, online, something that we're all used to these days, just with a few clicks, and also by doing a lot of the processes, doing a lot of the steps digitally. That hopefully translates into final savings for the customer and a better price. Better prices means cheaper energy for you, and it also means more families being able to afford these installations. So for us, it expands the market and it helps basically prove the value of the product. So that's the mission. That's what we want to do over the coming years. And let me share some numbers with you and how we do things here at Otovo. Otovo right now is on a run rate of possibly doing about 100 million euros in business. We are more or less double the business every year. Year on year now we're talking about 160. But the ongoing pace is doubling that. We added 10,000 new installations in 2022, and we're present in 13 countries. Just very recently, in February, we went public on the Oslo Stock Exchange in the main bourse there, and completing a journey of a digital startup focused on energy, from growing the business, achieving product market fit expansion, and then finally, being traded publicly. So. We think we're still very early on in this game. We think 2030 is a bit going to be like 1995, where few people had a mobile phone, and 5 years later, everybody had one in their pockets. We think that's going to happen in 2030. It won't be people carrying around panels on their backs, but we think that every home, every family will have one of these systems come 10 years, just because, well, as we'll see in a minute, it's cheaper and cleaner than any other alternative. So it's ripe for disruption, the residential energy market. So why solar? Why would anybody do this? Well, the simple answer is just economics. It's just cheaper to produce solar energy on your roof than through any other means, even means that require taking the energy to your home. Through distributed generation, by putting these panels on your roof, you're going to be creating electricity or generating electricity cheaper than if you buy it off the grid. So why wouldn't you? As long as you can make the installations affordable enough that those savings will pay them back, then that's interesting. Also, there's few alternatives versus other methods of having a coal generation or a thermal or a nuclear installation right on your roof. That's not viable, but you can have a few panels, right? And that's affordable, it's clean, it's the cheapest way. This helps us obviously accelerate the energy transition that we need to make. We will be switching in the coming years sources of electricity that generate CO2 with sources of electricity that just take advantage of what's already there, and with a much lower cost. I don't come from the energy world. I saw these numbers. I made the numbers myself when I was looking at opening up Otovo in Spain, which was the first country outside the Nordics that Otovo considered expanding into, and to validate its promise. And the proposition to a family was so strong, so clear, is that this product has to sell. This solution has to sell. And sure enough, a lot of things have happened in the past 3 or 4 years that we did not foresee COVID, people working more from homes, thus consuming more energy. The war on Ukraine that lifted energy prices way beyond the reach of many families, and it just accelerated something, but that the basics, the unit economics that we looked 3 or 4 years ago are still valid, are still solid, and that's why we think this will continue improving for the end customer in the coming years. What is solar rooftop? We could get into a discussion of panels and inverters and how you connect them to the grid and so forth. But to our customers, we just say, look, it's as if you were getting a black box, and this black box is going to save you between 30 and 50% of your energy needs. You will stop buying 30 to 50% of the electricity you buy off the grid. If you add a battery, and this system is well dimensioned, that might be going up to 80 or 90%. It's as simple as that. And as the energy you're going to be producing is cheaper than the one you buy off the grid, those savings are the ones that pay off for the system. And within a few years, you'll have paid it off. It is basically a financial product. It's a product that saves you money. And sure enough, on top of that, it's green, it's sustainable. It helps in this energy transition. So it's a no-brainer for the majority of homes. Granted, 10, 15 years ago, it was more expensive. That's why only very few people would put them on their roofs. Now, it is clearly the cheapest way. And so that's what's pushing the development of rooftop solar all across the world, in the United States, in Europe, Latin America, et cetera, et cetera. Everywhere you go, this is happening. And we think that the 2020s are going to be the decade of solar. What is not rooftop solar? So many people think, oh, that's great. Let me put in one of these systems. Let me get off the grid and achieve self-sufficiency. That is not a great solution. And it's not a great solution because having a system, the sun is not reliable. You might spend dozens of days with sun, but 4 or 5 days without sun might mean you don't have energy in your home, sending your home back to the Middle Ages. I don't think many people would be happy with that, right? And as a solution to that, putting extra panels so you would generate more, and extra batteries so you could store that energy for those cloudy days or dark days is not optimal. You would be overspending versus what you need. So it's a lot more efficient to put in the solar system and remain connected to the grid, to handle the peaks, to ensure that your system is going to be working, or you're going to have electricity 24 hours in the day, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So it's not a path to self-sufficiency. We don't recommend this. We don't do it to our customers. We don't think that's the best return on their money. It's also not a business unto itself. Some people call and say, hey, let me put solar panels on my roof. I'll just generate electricity and live off that. Unfortunately, the numbers are not that great to sell your own energy. It doesn't scale, and you're just going to be generating a few cents or your dollars every day on with solar. So it's not a way for you just install this big system and fall asleep and use it as income. Also, many systems, grid owners around the world, they compensate your cost, or they compensate your expenses in the invoices they send you, but they never send you money, so you can't really make cash off these systems. It's like I said, what rooftop solar is, it's a savings tool and a complement to an existing grid connection that will help you save a lot of money over the life of the product. Does this product, is it interesting for me as a homeowner? That's a question also we've had. This is a relatively young industry. The rooftop solar systems last for about 30 years. The majority of them have been installed in the past 5. So we haven't seen, the evolution of this. But we do start seeing some studies and some surveys that are being done on what happens when a home adds solar to its roof. Well, that's in essence, it's an asset. It's a product that is going to consume less, that it's going to cost less to maintain. Why? Because it will buy less energy off the grid, and that has a positive impact on the value of the asset. Maintenance costs run lower. A couple of studies in the US and Germany talked about improvement in home values of 4 to 7%. And we're talking about installations that in Europe might range from 5,000 euros in the south of Europe, 6,000 to 25,000 in Northern Europe. But you're talking about 4 to 7% of the value of your home. It significantly pays for itself at the time that you might be able to sell your home, right? It's just as if you had a pool. All of a sudden, that homes should become more valuable if it just not only has a garden, but also one it has a pool. Still early on, but the evidence is clear that it adds value to the underlying asset. So once again, a reason to not only save money month to month with these systems, but also, hey, if you ever need to sell a home, it comes with a solar panels system that will basically ensure that you have to buy less energy off the grid, so it will be cheaper to live there. What do we do as Otovo, right, in this solar scheme or industry? We are a marketplace. We work with hundreds of local installation companies on the one hand that many times don't have the digital capabilities to be online, sell online, or supervise projects with the adequate tools, and they're still running around with pieces of paper. And we provide the tools to basically help them quote their systems on our platform. On the other hand, we attract customers that just all they have to do is look up their address online, and we immediately, within seconds, give them a price. This price is not an Otovo price. We don't set prices. For every address you put in Otovo in real time, we're going out to all the data that these installers have provided us, and we calculate distances traveled, heights of buildings, productivity measures, and production measures on each and every single home. That allows us to give you a quick quote without disturbing anybody. We don't need to pick up a phone. We don't need to ask for a quote from anybody. We basically provide you the best price on our platform. The installers, on the other hand, via their costs, they know how competitive they are. And if they want more volume from us, they probably need to lower and improve their cost models. If they want and they don't have capacity, they can raise their prices even on a daily basis. So it allows a lot of flexibility for this marketplace to operate. And us as Otovo, we don't charge the installer anything to be there. We just take their cost that they're giving us, we add our margin, and that's what we sell to the final customer. This marketplace platform, which you've probably seen in other places, right? Food delivery, coupons, or renting out a home, or even having somebody drive you to another city. We think that it could also be applied to energy and residential rooftop solar. And that was the vision that our CEO had 5 or 6 years ago. And that's what we've built. After being in 13 countries, doing about 10,000 installations, we think that this process works and is quite effective at helping people take the step forward into solar rooftop. Our platform, that software that we provide, takes every step of the process in it. It's software that's in the cloud, and it just supervises and ensures that everything is done correctly. From the moment that the customer initially looks up their address and gets a first estimate of price, to the customization of the roof, if you need to add panels or inverters or signing the contract, everything is done online. Our sales team will call you on the phone, walk you through the options, if need be, do a video conference, but everything is remote. This didn't happen in the industry. In the industry used to operate under visits, and of course those visits, you don't sign on every visit, and it requires time and effort and kilometers and costs. All those things needed to be priced into the cost of the installations. With Otovo, it does not need to be the case. We save up on a lot of things, and that's how we achieve our price competitiveness. We are on par with the largest companies in every country in Europe in terms of brands used and quality, but we're just more efficient in the processes, and that gives us an advantage. Once customers sign, they upload the picture and documentation to our platform. Because our idea is to prepare all the documentation, and this varies country by country, how much time and effort we need to put into approving the paperwork. There's countries such as Poland where you can have your installations in a couple of weeks done and on the roof. And there's countries such as Spain where administration will take 3 months to give you a response and get the system going. But all this is done on our platform, and the idea is for us to only go to the home, which we manage quite successfully, the day we actually have to go on the roof and drill your roof to put up the panels. That's the only visit we aspire to have. And as such, those are the things we work on. We have an engineer assigned, a personal engineer to every project that obviously with this tool can handle more projects than a regular engineer in any other company could. Our sales team, they're handling more leads. All these efficiencies, once again, translate into a cheaper cost, not by sacrificing quality, but by eliminating friction throughout the process. The installation takes about 2 to 12 weeks, depending on the country. We can go very fast. If it were for us, you could sign a contract today and get it installed tomorrow. The reality is there is paperwork in the majority of countries we operate in. There's permitting that needs to occur, and that's what delays. Once we have the system going and working, We just leave it in the hands of the grid owner. In many countries, we can leave it operating and you have energy flowing from day one. Sometimes it needs to be the grid owner that comes to your home and turns it on. But in any case, the system, we leave you, it's a turnkey solution by which the system, you've sat at home through these weeks, just waiting for us to do our work, but you should be getting that energy. How can you check it? You get an app. These inverters are connected to Wi-Fi over the internet, which allows you both to get the information on the app and see how your system is performing in real time, but also our technical and support teams can connect to your systems if there's any problems and problem solve remotely, once again, saving money and time for everybody. All this is what the Otovo platform is to supervise the projects. And that's what we've been working on the past few years on our development side to basically have a solution that is very geared towards this specific product and which we think is going to be in high demand over the coming years. The process for the customer is very simple. You go on the website on any of our countries, you look up the address, you see a map, you click on the home, you answer a couple of questions. And in that time, while you're selecting these answers, in the background, we are building up the quotes from all the installers that work with us that have preloaded their costs. How much are they going to charge us per mile or kilometer of distance traveled? How much are they going to charge us for every type of panel, for every meter, or for a cable? All these things are in our software. So we're able to provide these estimation quotes without really disturbing anybody on the installation side. And we can get going on actually doing more installations, being more efficient, providing better services. The customer then receives or sees this estimate on the site, and if they decide to, they can leave our contact details, and we will call them and explain in more detail. The reality is we typically look at the customer invoice, and just based on how much energy they consume, we dimension the system to provide the best returns. So we don't sell a fixed solutions, 5, 10, 15 panels. That's what we offer on the site initially because we don't know how many you need. But once we're with you and talking on the phone, we look at your invoice and we recommend, hey, you're going to need 13 panels, you're going to need 7, wherever it is. And we get the pricing information real time so you can sign really quite quickly. It's these types of improvements and processes and digitalization that we think provide a good experience for the customer because we're all now more or less accustomed to following websites and clicks, but also providing, again, competitive costs without really becoming a conflicting relationship between you and the installer. The installer puts in their costs. We add our margin. And if you want more volume, you're going to have to lower your cost because there's other parties or other installers taking that. So we're very transparent on this, and it helps the marketplace function. We're probably one of the best references in terms of price in any of these countries. On the installer side, it works very much the same way. We've developed these tools such that this installer can have via a tablet or a computer or even a phone a view of their projects. Where do they stand? What documents they need to upload, etc., etc. It's a digital platform that would have taken any single one installer a lot of time and effort to make, such that nobody was really investing it. Here you have the Otovo software. Here you can just click for every project and follow the steps, and that's it. Hopefully, helping them achieve more efficiency translates into more competitive prices, and as we'll see in a second, more projects to Otovo. And that's the wheel. That's the virtuous cycle we're trying to obtain. Having good installers that provide good prices. With these good prices, we can go to customers. If customers sign with Otovo, we will bring more projects that in turn will be closer and more segmented to what the installer needs, both in terms of location, hardware required, etc., etc. And we are very fast at finding you the most optimal installer. That in turn provides that more installers can come to us and work with us. They compete on price, more customers, and that's how we get the flow going. And that's the basic bread and butter. This is the world I come from. It's my fourth startup, third marketplace. All have gone and have been quite successful in this dynamic. And that now, that's what we've managed to replicate quite successfully at Otovo now in 14 countries. When we opened up Spain, we didn't know if this would work. We'd done it in the Nordics, but we were Norwegian, right? So the question was, would we be able to replicate this from scratch and in remote? COVID came, but the good news was, yes, the software did what it needed. The installers were convinced, and with that, we got to providing thousands of Spanish families with their installation. Not only we've innovated in terms of tools and processes, but also we've brought a solution that we saw and is quite successful in the US, which is the lease. Traditionally, this industry, how it had worked was you want a system, sure enough, this is how much you pay, and then you pay that back. That's how the industry was in Spain and all across Europe. We are the prime offer of leasing products in solar rooftop across Europe, but it has changed the game. Before, you need to find somebody who had $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to spend in one of these systems, and then wait a payback that would range in Europe between 7 and 12 years initially. Now with Ukraine, the hike in energy prices, you can find, and also subsidies, you can find regions in Spain where you can get your system paid for in 3 to 4 years. That's obviously an extreme, but if you look at this, 7 to 9 years for a return, you were talking double-digit returns. That's hard to get, even for any financial product or investment you want to put your money in. So if you're a family, you might want to look at this and putting your money towards one of these systems and getting better returns from it than just even putting it into a mutual fund or in the stock market. That not being enough, we said, well, one of the blockers of this is people worry about whether these systems will last 30 years. Yes, you're telling me that, but how do I know? Or they might not have had 5,000 or 6,000 euros to spare at the time. So leasing solves this. Leasing is a contract that runs for 20 years, where we are renting you out the system for these 20 years. We're maintaining the system for the 20 years, and that we design them in such a way that it's cash flow positive from day one. What does this mean? That means that the monthly fee that you pay for your system is less than what you're saving on your energy bill. So it's cash flow positive from day one. And from then on, after 20 years, the system is yours, and you can continue enjoying the final 10 under your watch with free energy and no cost. And you won't have to put €1 down. This, obviously, we thought opened, and we think it does, open the market and solar rooftop to many families that might not have been able to take on the initial investment. So we think, and once again, in our vision of putting every solar system on every roof in Europe and a battery, it's not only about having the right solution on the hardware, and technically, yes, that's it, or the biggest commercial reach. It's also helping customers take that step without having them cost anything, right? So it really is a no-brainer, as you're in the money from day one with the installation in the case of a lease. So that's what Otovo does, and our platform does. Everything from generating the leads and finding the customers to ensuring that those leads and buildings that they're picking can be qualified and sold to. The signing of the contract is done, everything in remote, and we get started on the pre-planning. All that sales process is done without having to visit the home of the customer. Once that project is signed, we start with the project management, preparing all the documentation, the administration, the fees, etc. We don't take any money, or we don't take money down until your installation is complete. Right? Being a full digital process, we think this is important to gather some confidence. We run the project, we install, and we validate this. Again, we are leasing these systems ourselves, so we want to make sure that the quality is good, and we think that's our best card for quality. If you don't believe this system will work, give it to us. We'll buy it for 20 years, and then we'll give it to you. And so far, it's been quite successful. Once we have the installation done, we finish all the documentation, we legalize these systems. Typically, they require a grid connection or approval, and we just leave it all running so the customer has solar and clean energy and cheap energy from the roof without much hassle. And then via the app, they can look and say, yeah, what am I producing? Is my system okay? And because these systems, the inverters that we install, are Wi-Fi connected, we can connect to them and check out how your system is working. Once again, saving time and money for any movements, repairs, etc., etc. This system, this process, this tool that I found a small little company in Norway doing 4 years ago is now like I said, a much bigger business with presence in 13 countries. We demonstrated that this software could work, that there was appetite for installers. You have to remember also, this is a market where it's growing. So even though the market is growing, installers are still interested in finding more efficient ways to work together. in spending more time on the roofs, which is typically what many of these small and medium enterprises do, leaving all the administrative details, the selling details, the support, the financial solutions to us, and it's quite a successful relationship with the installers. We have over 700 installation companies across Europe that cover this map, and there you can see some of our installations in the countries that we've been. One roof at a time, but changing Europe quite gradually. If you look at our evolution, this was our picture a couple of years ago when we first launched Italy with a few installations here and there. You can't tell, you might be able to see or not, but that's the map of Europe. It's all black, right? But as we've gone over the years, doubling the size and the number of installations, you can see how it lights up. Here's a 2021 where it's very present. Numbers are there for France, but you still have pockets, right? You have Portugal that is not visible, the UK. These are countries that we've opened up in the last batch. And as you can see, we're adding installations every day, one more dot for every one of those installations. And what we hope for is that we'll eventually, make this map quite bright with 150,000 installations completed by 2030. And for that, we need to continue. There's plenty of opportunity. Solar is, like I said at the very beginning, already the cheapest way to produce electricity in your home, and it's bound to become cheaper. It's bound to become more affordable, which will in turn open up the gates for more customers and more families being able to jump on this solar revolution. So that's it, what I had for you today. Here are my contact details if you need them. But once again, thanks to the Global Digital Week team for inviting us to talk about a little bit about sustainability, solar, and savings, which is what this product is about. Thank you very much.